What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Series 12 team fixing video, and this time we have been tasked to fix a Hitmonlee Comfey team. So we actually just uploaded this video, but then somebody commented and saying your mic is not working, and then I realized the entire video was muted. It's because I forgot to put my mic on, and that has happened before, so sometimes it happens. So now I am attempting to re-record this video past midnight because might as well. So here we are. I'm about to give the same speech again. So we've got Hitmonlee and we've got Comfey. Why? I couldn't tell you, but this is the requirement from the viewer, and they, you know, they're big fans of Gen 1. They played Pokemon Red and Blue. They went into the dojo, and instead of picking Hitmonchan, they picked Hitmonlee. They used Hitmonlee, they swept the Elite Four and became their favorite Pokemon of all time. And then since then, 10, 12 years later, I don't know how many years it's been since then, but 15 years later or something, Hitmonlee was a mainstay in their game, and they said, Clover, I want to make a Hitmonlee team in Sword and Shield. So I said, okay. All right. So obviously the whole thing they're going with is the Comfey Hitmonlee weakness policy, Unburden shenanigans. And if you don't know what Unburden is, basically the way it's going to work here is when the item is consumed, it's going to get double speed boost. So when we use Comfey with Draining Kiss and we activate the policy, Hitmonlee not only does it a lot of damage now, but it also gets a very nice double speed boost. And while that is a pretty cool combo, I don't know if this is the format for it. Considering there is a dual restricted Dynamax format where big uber restricteds are going for Airstream, I don't know what Hitmonlee is going to do against those things. But again, this is for a ladder. This is not for a tournament. This is just for, you know, just to have a little fun. And the main restriction that I have is I must keep Hitmonlee and Comfey on the team. Everything else is dispensable. And to that I say, okay, cool. So now let's look at the rest of the team. So we've got Yveltal here. Timid with 60 HP, a little bit of bulk, a lot of special attack, and some speed. That looks like it's for Landers. And I see the moveset: Oblivion Wing, Sucker Punch, Foul Plate, and Snarl. That is an AV set for sure, but this is the wrong EVs for that, methinks. I think you're better off going Modest and a little bit more bulk if you're gonna go the AV set, because this looks like Life Orb EVs but with the AV moveset. So that's one thing. The Comfey looks good, big, but there's 32 special attack on it. I don't know why there's 32 special attack on it, but we're gonna fix that. And there's Ally Switch and Protect. All right, we already know how I feel about Ally Switch, so that's going out the window. Zacian looks good. That looks like our standard Zacian spread. So that one doesn't need to be modified in any way, shape, or form. There is a Focus Sash Incineroar on my screen with 196 attack, adamant, and 52 HP with max speed, and again Focus Sash. Whew. Okay, and then we got Tornadus with a lot of bulk, some speed, a little bit of special attack. All right, so we got some things. We got some stuff here. I think what we can do is I just don't think Yveltal is the right fit here. I was restricted to Comfey, Hitmonlee, but I don't think Yveltal is the play. We're gonna change the EVs on the Comfey and the Incin, and I don't think we need Tornadus here. I think we're gonna get rid of it. I also just noticed that there's no Trick Room on Comfey, so I think we're gonna pick a slower, stronger restricted, and I have just the thing that we're gonna do. So let's go home into Showdown and let's go ahead and modify this. Okay, so we got Hitmonlee here, and let's look at the spread here. So it looks like it's adamant, max speed, and this 139 mark is actually pretty important and pretty cool because when you activate the policy and activate Unburden, you're gonna get the double speed boost, and you're gonna hit 278, which is gonna outspeed Regieleki, which is kind of cool. So you'll be the fastest Pokemon in the format once you activate Unburden on Hitmonlee. So that's nice. And then I can see you hit the second benchmark here to 176, so that's also good. And then the rest you just dump into bulk. I don't have a problem with the spread. Like this is a good spread. The problem is Series 12. But we've got Wide Guard here, so that's pretty good against, like, you know, spread moves like Astral Barrage, Water Spout, you know, Glacial Lance. You got Max Quake, you got Close Combat, aka Max Knuckle, and Max Rockfall. So this is good against flying types. So weak to airstream, but you know, maybe we don't have to take an airstream if we can just one-shot things. So this is okay. This I think I have a problem with. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna remove this, and this I'm gonna remove as well. Okay, but first we're gonna fix this. So draining, kiss, ally switch, protect, floor healing. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna take these two moves out. All right. I think helping hand is gonna be big, especially with like Zacian and Hitmonlee on the team, and then Trick Room. And I'll tell you why. Because what I'm thinking is, what if we just go like Kyogre here? And this makes more sense to me because we need something for Sun. Because if you look at the old team, here, let me remove Ogre for a second. If we had the old team, like with Yveltal and what was the other thing? Tornadoes. Okay, like how do you beat Groudon? I don't know. Like, this is not enough. Okay, the Incin doesn't do anything, and Hitmonlee, again, like, yeah, you can outspeed it and deal big damage, but like, it's Groudon, man. You're not gonna one-shot that thing, and our physical defense is not exactly great either. So like, I don't know how we beat that. And then, you know, there's other things that we have to consider, like, you know, other ogres. Like, how do I beat Kyogre here? But this is not enough. The other Calyrex, the Palkia, a lot of things I don't have an answer to. But if we just do stuff like this, where if I add the Ogre, you know, now we got a pretty cool Dynamax option. And then Regieleki, I think, has to be the one. Just because Calyrex is rampant and we need something to slow that thing down, so this way our Ogre and Zacian can beat it. But we'll get to these two in a second. I want to adjust the Comfey here first. So 32 special attack, we'll just put 1 point there, that's okay, and then just dump the rest into special defense. Like, we don't need to have 32 special attack. That might have been a calc for something, but I don't see it. So let's just leave it alone and then just add the rest into special defense. Zacian, that's fine. This is the one that really needs to change. We'll get rid of this. We'll put that on you. Okay. And then we'll adjust this Adamant 196 spread. Let's go careful. Let's go with a standard instant spread. I don't think there's any other reason why we need to do anything else. Again, we'll hit the EV benchmark here with a 156 investment to hit 143. Again, you see how the stat goes up by 2? This is, again, our EV bump. And again, if you don't know what EV bumps are, you got to check out our video on the channel that fully explains what EV bumps are. Again, if you're trying to play competitive Pokemon, you got to know what these are. Comment in the video below if you don't know what they are. I'll link you to the video where I explain it. But again, very important that you need to know what these bumps are. And then from here, you just max it like this. This will take Zacian fighting moves very well after the Intimidate support. And now there's 2 items that I think are good. I think Shuka Berry is nice. But then if you click Trick Room, what are you going to do about a Mungus, right? So I think Safety Goggles is the play here. And yeah, you just need to like account for it. But again, with the Trick Room, now what we can do is go with a bulky Ogre, and I think a Life Orb set makes a lot of sense. You can go Assault Vest. I think that's also pretty good, where you have a lot of extra bulk, you get more coverage, but then you don't have Protect, and you're not dealing as much damage, right? And on this team, we kind of really need the damage a little bit more than the bulk, so I'm going to go with the Life Orb set, and I think stuff like Water Spout, Origin Pulse, and Ice Beam is good. Now, that being said, you can go with something like Hyper Beam here, and that's Waterfall. Hold on a second. Okay, there we go. I still think, like you can remove this and like go Hyper Beam, you know, just get like max strike speed control. I think that's still good, but honestly, I think the extra damage is important with the Origin Pulse, and then Protect here. Now, again, the whole synergy with Ogre and Comfey is, you know, you'll be taking damage over time, you know, but then like you can just heal that with Floral Healing, and then under Trick Room, your Ogre's kind of just chilling by clicking Water Spouts. So it's a really nice combination, and I think it makes a lot of sense on this team because you want some more synergy by just Hitmonlee, right? Like the Comfey is for the Hitmonlee, but other than that, not much else. Like we want to combine that with the Ogre here, right? And Yveltal just wasn't really doing much with the Comfey, so I think this just makes a lot more sense. We'll go modest 112 here, because this way, after an Electro Web, you can at least outspeed those base 100s, and you're also relatively slow, slower than most of those Groudons at the very least, so you can outspeed them in Trick Rooms, which is always nice. And then honestly, we'll just go like 156 investment yet again. You're hitting the bump, and then look, I have 328 EVs left of bulk to play with. just dump it in like HP, you know. We'll just optimize our HP number with the Life Orb chip. Again, 1/10 after every attack. So like you want to go with 199 here. This way, 199 divided by 10 is 19.9, which rounds down to 19. So you're only taking 19 damage per turn from Life Orb. Whereas if you did this, if you went to 200, now you're taking 20 HP damage per turn. No reason to take more chip than you need to. So just undercut the threshold like this. And then the rest just goes into bulk like this. And then this is really good against like Rillaboom, Grassy Glide stuff, especially with Incineroar Intimidate on the team. So I think it makes a lot of sense here. This is what we're going to do. A slow, bulky Ogre on the Trick Room with Floral Healing is really, really nice. Regieleki, I think, you know, Electroweb is good here. And the thing is, that's Electrify. When you do this, if you look at the Zacian spread, this Zacian spread is meant to outspeed Regieleki anyway after a +1 or -1 on it. But there was nothing on the team before that was giving you that except for like Tailwind. But then that's like +2. So this is where you need the Eleki, right? And then Thunderbolt, just for a consistent damage move, Volt Switch, pivoting move, and then Protect, right? I think this is pretty good. Now, considering like, again, there's 3 ground weaknesses here, so you can put the Shuka Berry on this, but I think it's still okay to put the safety goggles. It's fine. Yeah, I think this is it. The Eleki, obviously, because with the Focus Sash, you just want 252, 252 here. No reason really to do anything else. And this is it. This is the squad. So let's make a paste of this and let's talk about it. So main combination again, you know, of course you have your Comfey Hitmonlee, all right. But now with the Incin, what you can do is lead both of them, go for Parting Shot turn 1, and then Trick Room, and then bring in the Ogre, and then now Ogre can just go for Water Spouts, and then your Comfey can just go for Helping Hand Water Spouts. Or if you need to max the Ogre, you can Dynamax the Ogre and then heal it if it took damage on switching, and then, you know, just go for those Life Orb, Max Geysers in the rain. It's really, really good. And then Eleki or Zacian just clean up from the back, honestly. And that's really all you need. Sometimes you can go with the Comfey Hitmonlee lead and then have Zacian and Ogre clean up from the back. That's okay as well. Other times you might need like Eleki Zacian or Eleki Hitmonlee, you know, pivot in the Comfey in the back. You know, just a lot of different combinations you can do because you have 2 pivot mons and then you have a speed control mon with Comfey. So a lot of different possibilities. Now again, I don't know how well Hitmonlee can do in Series 12, but again, if there was a squad to make it try and work, I think this is one that can do the job, because sometimes you don't even need to bring the Hitmonlee. Sometimes you could just win with Zacian, Incin, and then Comfey Ogre. Like that's good enough already. Or even like Zacian, Ogre, Comfey, and Regieleki. That's also good if you don't even want to bring the Incineroar. But let's go ahead and test it out in some practice battles. Let's make another account. Let's see if we can beat some of the lower accounts, just to see that the team can at least work. Okay, this is like hard Trick Room here with Palkia, Calyrex. So this is again where the value of Comfey is important, right? Because then you can flip the Trick Room and then none of them can get the speed control, and then Ogre can just do what it needs to do. This is again one of those games where like you can't really bring the Hitmonlee. It's not really offering too much here. I'll tell you what is very valuable is Incineroar. So I think we're just gonna go with the lead here with Comfey and Ogre, and then have Zacian and Incin clean up in the end game, and potentially even bait out a Dynamax from the Calyrex with the Incineroar. That's always good. Now again, like you see like Pheromosa speed swap shenanigans. Like, okay, I mean, what's that doing against Ogre if we have the speed control? So it's very frail. I really like Ogre in this matchup. So there's Indeedee and Amoonguss. This is something I did not expect. I honestly can say I've never seen this lead. Like you always want like something aggressive here, like either Indeedee Calyrex or Amoonguss Calyrex or Amoonguss Palkia or Indeedee Palkia. Not like this. Like what can you do here? So like if I'm my opponent, cause like I'm just gonna click Helping Hand Water Spout and then the Indeedee dies. This special defense doesn't do anything. You can just like click Protect and then click Spore with the Amoonguss, I guess, and then my Ogre goes to sleep, and then next turn, you know, we can just stay asleep, and then Comfey just probably heals the Ogre a little bit if the Indeedee does any damage. But like he's putting my Ogre to sleep if my opponent just clicks Spore, right? But again, he's not getting his sweepers in, and there's nothing that wants to take a Water Spout. So we're just gonna go for the play anyway and see what we can do against this Amoonguss. So the Indeedee goes down. That's That's why I said the Spit F doesn't matter. But he didn't even click Spore, he just clicked Rage Powder. And now we're kind of chilling here because now we can just Dynamax and remove this Amoonguss. I really don't want to go to sleep. Okay, and again, the Palkia damage and the Trick Room stuff doesn't work because you saw that we just flipped the Trick Room with the Comfey, and I knew he would try and do it. So now the speed control is still with us. He's down to Mons. He only has a Calyrex left, and remember, we have Zacian in the back as well as Incineroar. So all we have to do is just, you know, pretty much stop Trick Room and just neuter this Calyrex. But I want to see how much damage this does. So I went for Helping Hand Max Geyser, and look how much damage this does into Calyrex. That is a Dynamax Calyrex Ice Rider taking a neutral hit. This is Life Orb Kyogre in the rain with Helping Hand. That almost just one-shot this thing. Now, this Palkia can go for Trick Room if he wants, but then he just saw that I can just flip it. So, ideally, there's the Spatial Run. Doesn't do a whole lot. There's the Quake. Again, we're bulky. We're thick. This is where all that physical bulk comes in handy. He really has no other choice but to forfeit because, again, we have Zacian in the back, and he can't get the speed control. The Comfey still heal. Ogre pretty much just wins after Floral Healing, so that's that. Again, that's the importance of having Trick Room on Comfey, which is what we did not have in the beginning, so I'm glad we made that change. Let's look at a couple others. Okay, so this is like Kyogre and Giratina with Kangaskhan. See, these are the type of games that are like low enough on Master Ball tier, like even when you're playing, that you can do well with Hitmonlee, right? This is where you can have a little bit of fun. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lead Comfey and Hitmonlee like this, and we should be able to outspeed everything that he has because he's very, very slow. Now, I understand the Kangaskhan has Fake Out, he can stop my Comfey, but I'm pretty sure with Dynamax Hitmonlee, the fighting move can just one-shot this Kangaskhan anyway. And because he led Giratina, I'm not afraid to click the fighting move, because if he did not, I would be a little bit more afraid to click the fighting move, because then he can just bait me and swap out the Kangaskhan into Giratina, and then I'm a little sad. And then I can't even click Max Quake because he has Levitate. Oh no, this is the other Giratina, I'm sorry, so I can't do that. But anyway, because he led it with it, I'm not afraid. So he maxes that thing, but I'm Hitmonlee, I'll be okay. So here we go, Max Knuckle, and this does one-shot it, so that's good. And now let's see what this Giratina goes for, and it was in fact an Airstream. We do live because we have a little bit of bulk. I'm actually surprised that Giratina has the Airstream. You normally don't see it. But again, here we go, Helping Hand into the Ogre Max Quake. We outspeeded, the crit doesn't matter. This was a +3 Hitmonlee. And he actually went for the Comfey instead of the Hitmonlee. So he's giving me another shot to get one more attack hit. I do chip the Grimmsnarl just in case it was Sash, and I want to get a little bit of recovery just to live one more attack from Giratina if he does go for it. But he just clicks Wormwind and he removes the Hitmonlee, but that's okay. Alright, so now what we want to do is just protect the Ogre and set up Trick Room, because I see he has 2 Airstream boosts, so I want the speed control back with me. And then Ogre can just pretty much clean up from here with the Helping Hand Water Spout. He does go for Thunder Wave, but again, on this channel we don't get parried like that, so we just remove the Grimmsnarl, and the Giratina is all by himself, and the Poltergeist does some damage, but not enough. So all we have to do is just heal the Ogre and just chip this Giratina slowly. I did not need to do Ice Beam at this point. I could have just clicked, you know, Water Spout, but we have pretty good EV, so we lived that anyway. So yeah, that was a mistake by me, but that's okay. We had like Zacian in the back and other things, so that actually was just Zacian in the back, so we were still okay. The Comfey would have just won the game by himself. So let's take a look at another. Okay, this is a very average Joe with a very average team. So it's Zacian Ogre with double Genie here. So looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 things are weak to Intimidate. So this is where like Instant Comfey lead looks really good, because I can set up Trick Room, I can Parting Shot into my own Ogre if I want. And there's not a whole lot he can do about it. And I can't really go for the Hitmonlee combo because his Tailwind, his fast mode is better than my fast mode, so that doesn't really work. So let's go the other route. Let's go Trick Room. So here's Incin, here's Comfey, and he goes with Landorus and Tornado. So double Genie lead. Now, main thing first is I want to check if he's White Herb, and he is not White Herb. So he does go for the Protect turn 1. I was not going for a Fake Out. I was actually trying to Parting Shot. But he does Tailwind, and then I do go for Trick Room, so that's kind of cool for me, I guess. I just chip the Sash away if he does have it. And there's another Parting Shot into Landorus, so now he's -2. and into my Ogre, and he does go for the Earthquake play, but it doesn't do so much into my Ogre, so I have a little bit of bulk, which is good. And now all I can do is just go back into Incin. Maybe I even didn't need to go into Incin. I could have just kept Comfey in here and just click Draining Kiss until my taunt wore off, but yeah, I just went into Incin anyway. But because I have Trick Him Up, I can mitigate the damage on his opposing Ogre, which is what I want, in case he did Dynamax it. And I did understand that, you know, I may give up the Comfey next turn, but again, it's alright. So there's the Thunder. That's why I maxed the Ogre, because I was afraid I might not live if I didn't max the Ogre. I do give up the Comfey here, but I do get to remove the Dracovish afterwards, which is good, because now he's forced to lead either the Torn or the Landorus, and he does have the Landorus. So that, because at this point I know he doesn't have Zacian, right? So I was going to, you know, potentially get the Fake Out off, but because he had Landorus, I just wanted to remove the Landorus and just leave the Ogre trapped in here, even though he protected it. So now it's just Ogre and Tornadus versus whatever I got, and this is where like the EVs do come in the clutch. Again, his Ogre is -1, okay, and he maxes the Ogre, he goes for his little Tailwind play, and he goes for the Geyser, which we do somehow live, right? Because we got the best EVs on this channel. I don't know how I lived that, but I lived it, and because he does that, he ignores my own Ogre, which allows me to pick up the KO on the Tornadus, and now we can go into our own Zacian. And I understand he has Tailwind, but I know I can live whatever he's got. I'm just going to click Play Rough, and there it is, and that's that. Now, if he crit me, then things would have got interesting, but the thing is, like, if I protect the Zacian and he expects that and he goes for my Ogre instead, that's pretty much like a free turn. So I wanted to just attack both slots anyway, so this way I deal some damage, and then whatever I have left can just finish the game off. So we did just that. So let's look at another one. Okay, last one, and this is a Calyrex, Shadow Rider, and Zacian. There's Blastoise and Thundurus. That's pretty standard, but what's not standard is the Heatran and Articuno. So this guy is also like kind of like us, just trying to play some of his favorites and just trying to have a little fun in the lower echelon of the showdown ladder. But again, Hitmonlee looks pretty good here because we can outspeed everything that he has with Unburden. So I do like that idea. So let's go ahead and try it. So here's Comfey, here's Hitmonlee, and he goes with Thundurus, and there's a Heatran. So I don't really care about this Heatran. We have a Babiri Berry. If I can just remove this Thundurus right now, that's good news later on against my Ogre. So that's exactly what I'm doing. He maxes the Thundurus, that's what I want. And now we max the Hitmonlee. We Drain and Kiss our Hitmonlee. We proc the Unburden. We proc the Policy. We go for Rockfall. He loses the Dynamax. And now we're just kind of chilling. And even if he goes for the Flash Cannon, which is exactly what he does, the Comfey's chilling because we had the Babiri Berry, right? Now, he brings in the Calyrex. So that's fine, because what I can do is I can Drain and Kiss, get a little bit more health back, and live an Astro Barrage. And then we can just remove this Heatran before he gets a chance to click another Flash Cannon, right? So that's the plan here. No Protect comes out. And because he goes first before my Hitmonlee, I know he's Scarf, because that's the only way he can outspeed me. So that was good to note. But again, we do get to remove the Heatran, and our Hitmonlee's kind of getting buffed here. So that's 2 KOs for Hitmonlee. So he's already doing a lot. And here's the Zacian, right? So I do want to heal the Hitmonlee a little bit, and I'm willing to let him get the Comfey, but I want to remove the Calyrex, so this way whatever I have left in the back can then just beat his Zacian, which is all that he has left. And that's exactly what I do. I click the Floral Healing button. He outspeeds the Hitmonlee, but we outspeed the Zacian, so that's all I need to do. I understand even if he kills me with the Zacian, I do die, but that's okay. Now, I could have attacked the Zacian, but then he just has a fast Calyrex that's already +1, and I don't know if I live anything after that. So I didn't want to take that risk, so I wanted to remove the Calyrex rather than the Zacian, who could have also protected, by the way, but he did not. But here's our Zacian, here's our Kyogre, and now we just pretty much win the game. He can only attack one, he can't attack both. He wins the speed tie because, of course, he's the faster Zacian, but we have Ogre and Zacian coming in the back, and he can only target one. We have 2. It's too much for him. And Hitmonlee did a lot of the damage, and we were able to pick that one up. So, again, from all these battles, you saw how we can kind of get our positioning with the Comfey, you know, and then Floral Healing into Kyogre is really, really nice. And then, you know, you kind of have to eyeball it. If Hitmonlee can outspeed everything, you go with the combo and then finish the game off with Zacian and Ogre like this. But if we have to play a little bit more pivoting, then, you know, Incin Comfey is really, really nice. And then trying to get the Ogre under Trick Room is really, really good. Where then we can Dynamax it and then smash, right? So that's how you have to play the team a little bit. I know we played it in like some like low ladder games, but look, if we can't beat low ladder, then, you know, the team is just not worth using, right? So at the very least, it's a mid-tier team that we can at least have a little fun with Hitmonlee, because that's what the viewer wanted, right? So let's look at the Pokepaste one last time, and let's get you guys out of here. All right, so there it is, right? So we've got our Comfey Hitmonlee combo, and again, really good synergy with Life Orb Kyogre, especially with Floral Healing stuff and Trick Room. Helping Hand is really, really nice because, you know, Helping Hand Zacian, Helping Hand Kyogre, Helping Hand Hitmonlee, a lot of big damage, and not a lot of things can resist it or want to take it, so that's always nice. Incineroar Regieleki, they're just here to support with their speed controls, the fake outs, the intimidates, the parting shots, which is what we want. And again, you saw our instant spreader is really, really cool that we live the Max Geyser -1 Kyogre, so that's what we want out of our Incineroar, right? Just to be able to live Kyogre Max Geyser. Again, Hitmonlee is really nice. I don't know if this is the format for it, but yeah. Oh, we forgot to reveal the GIFs. I always forget this, so let's go ahead and reveal it. At this point in the video, you might as well. But yeah, again, if you're interested in something like this where you get to submit a team to me and I fix it up a little bit like this, that is a tier 2 sub to the channel, so definitely look into that. That is in the video description below. Other than that, if you want to build a team with me from scratch where I showcase all the EVs and I teach you how to do it, and I teach you all the nuances of team building in Series 12, and then maybe test it out in a few battles on a higher level account on Showdown, then that is team building. That's a tier 3 sub to the channel, so definitely look into that, especially if you're trying to get ready for upcoming regionals and tournaments, right? So we've helped a lot already. We're gonna help even more, so stay tuned. We'll be back with more Series 12 content. Until next time, guys, have a good one.